Good afternoon, everyone. And my name is Chawahir Tahir, and I came to Leicester 2000. So I am of a decade now. Someone told me, you can't say anymore you are new arrivals. I used to say we are new arrivals in the city. But I am Managing Director of Somali Development Services, which is based in Highfield, and we provide a lot of different services to local community, including adult learning service, employment training, so that is my other hat and day-to-day job. I will just give you a brief kind of introduction in terms of how the book came about. And this book, its first version has been published in Holland. I myself lived in Holland, and I came to Holland in 1990 as an asylum seeker when the civil war of Somalia started. So after 4 years staying in Holland, we have set up myself and other Somali members an organization, a Somali Women's Group, to help the Somali families and children there, because we have noticed that there were so many barriers that family were dealing with. And through that, we discovered that many families who came to Holland, they have been through a lot. So we thought, without recording those experiences, it would be a waste of knowledge. And the primary aim at that time was really because the country was in conflict. And I felt myself in Somalia. I studied language and literature, and I was working in the university. I was also a part-time radio broadcaster. So I was always had, interest in literature. So part of me was, feeling that we lost everything. We don't have any history. Museums, libraries, everything was destroyed in Somalia. So we have to, talk to those people and, record their experience, so that the next generation could, have something about the background of their parents, grandparents, and their great-great-parents. But also the other one was obviously to help, the host community to understand a bit more about the Somali community background, so that they can help better in assessing their needs. So we decided to interview a lot of people around the country in Holland. That took over 4 years. And we have launched, officially that version in 1998. Myself and two other women, Marian Anshur and Maria Abdi, both of them living now in Leicester. Marian is working with me at Somali Development Service, and Maria is businesswoman, have one of the best restaurants in Samatis. So that was published in Somali and Dutch language, and it has been hosted in The Hague, where that was my city, and the mayor was attended the launch and ordered all the libraries and the school this is compulsory in our book to read about it. But I moved on again and came to Leicester 2000. So I thought, the first year, the second year, I just noticed, again, Leicester people doesn't know that much about the Somali community, and I thought, what can we do? Although, in 2000, when I started working as a community development officer, helping, service providers to understand better Somali community needs. So we thought, maybe it's good if we translate, the book into English, so that more people can read, about those experiences and stories. So myself and Ebian discussed about it, and we decided to translate the Dutch into English. Ebian did most of it. And so, by doing so, we thought, this is only about Holland and Somalia. It doesn't have that relevance into UK or Leicester. And all the way through that, actually we met with Marilyn. She will talk about, I think, later on how we met. It was quite very interesting itself. So we, decided to include more stories from Leicester so that we have also the Leicester experience. So we have interviewed 11 more people from Leicester around Europe, not just from Holland. So you have from Norway, from Denmark, Sweden, and included also young people, because the first version was only adult. And so we thought, young people experience quite vital, and it needs to reflect in this second version. And so we have included 5 young people and 6 adults. And so that is generally how this book came about. But then, we initially thought we will make, as before, one Somali book and one English book. And as we, discussing within the team, now, Marlene and another, very important person who are not here, Karen Koller, was one of the team, decided, why are we not combining in one book instead of 2 books? So that the Somali younger generation can benefit, but also non-Somalis also can have a glance of the Somali language. And if they, like it. So here you have, dual language book in English and Somali, Leicester stories, as well as Europe and in Somalia and other, neighbors countries, and it could be also, Middle East, Africa, and loads of other cities. The book itself, I think it has huge it could be a tool to use it as informative, as education, as literature, and we feel that it could help many people to understand better the Somali community. It could help about community cohesion, because through this experience it's about culture, it's about language, it's about day-to-day life, and it's about how these people, experience as a new citizens in Leicester, as a European, as a Somali, as a Muslim, as a Africans. So there's a lot to, learn from it. Identity, community cohesion. They talk about loads of stuff. So I will, without delay, I will introduce Marlene and Edil, who will, read a little, version of poetry. Poet. This book actually we have dedicated a very famous Somali poet who has in Somalia was very hard in terms of disunity, which has actually caused the civil war of Somalia. And this actually poet inside this book, it has been version which is talking about that. So Idil will read in English and Marlene will read in Somali, which is quite fascinating, isn't it? We changed, the roles. And it's quite interesting, how Marlene, become one of us. And you can see she's wearing one of, Somali traditional clothes, which I'm wearing also myself, and called Dira. She's beautiful, isn't it, in that dress. So, welcome Marlene and Idil.